What's going on, everybody? My name's Encore, and this is your daily reminder that tomorrow never comes, meaning none of our tomorrows are guaranteed. So let's stop pushing things off for some unknown day in the future and do it today. For me in this channel, that is all about the crypto space. Okay, this is something I feel you owe it to yourself. It's a responsibility you have to educate yourself. Doesn't mean you have to jump in, although that is my opinion. Nothing I give is financial advice, but I strongly believe that this is a technology that's similar to the invention of fire, combustion engine, steam engine, electricity, the internet, all of that. Okay, maybe all of that combined of where it's going to take us going into the future. So you have to do your own research, and that's really what this channel is about. Is I want to spark some interest. Maybe provide a little bit of a push so that you get in there and you see what's right, what's real, what's not for you. Because at the end of the day, you have to be comfortable with your decision, whether to be in it or not to be in it. So for me, if you're in it and you do dip your toe in, 99.99% of the people never come back out. And I only say that 0.0001% only because nothing is 100% surety, right? But having said that, since I always push jump into the space, do your own research, I was trying to think, you know, if I was just jumping into the space now, what would I want? Or maybe if you're watching this video, you're saying, okay, yeah, I'm kind of interested. But the question that you kind of leave with watching these videos or maybe others is, where do I go then to look at any information? So I want to kind of tackle that today. You know, shouldn't be a very long video, but relevant video for someone who's just getting into the space. And maybe if you have been in and you don't know where to go, I'll give you some sources here. Now, best source, and I made a video on this before, was influencers. Find some good ones, and good meaning they're consistent, right? They're not flip-flopping with where market sentiment is, down or up, unless they're doing some kind of specific trading or whatnot. But their overarching message, their belief, and their understanding of the space really shouldn't change. Unless it's getting better, right? So you don't want someone who flip-flops or just who kind of promotes things just for the sake of promoting, all right? But putting influencers aside, putting social media aside, if you were to go on, you know, and search yourself, where would you look? So I want to start here with where you shouldn't look, okay? We'll do a couple of you know, main sources here that most people would probably see. Definitely will flash up on Google or anything like that when you do a search first, right? Because they are big syndicates and they're well known. So, and then I want to finish off with where you can kind of go, and always got to fish things out for yourself. Before I do start, I do want to say that as negative as some of the mainstream media is, sometimes the articles on the pro crypto side get too pro, right? So that's why you kind of have to weigh what you're reading. But generally speaking, the crypto-specific news or news platforms are more involved in the projects, so you're getting more of a fundamental take. Regardless of what the main opinion may be, you can kind of read in and see what's happening and kind of follow along. And the best thing to do is kind of confirm certain information through various sources. So that's kind of what I want to take you guys down today, and kind of see where we can go and some things that can work for you and some things to kind of avoid. So first thing is where not to go. For me, I just picked this out at random, was Washington Post, but it's just really any of your local mainstream news media sources, right? So if you're in the Washington area, the Washington Post. If you're New York Times. You know, if you're in Canada, just the local news. You know, the local media resources that you may have, the big channels, the big syndicates. They're all, first of all, if you just look through, I'm going to use Washington Post as an example, but if you look through, I mean, just the news itself, this negativity flows all over the place. So I generally like to avoid the news as a whole. Okay, if I'm going to do some specific research, that's different, but I don't sit here and start looking at this story and this story. It's just all negative. And then even if you're here for the Washington Post specifically, where is crypto? Right? You kind of have to search for it. You It'll outline sections here, but you can't find it, right? So if we just do a little search for crypto, and lo and behold, you're gonna just get negativity, okay? So the celebs have gone crypto. They're peddling NFTs, okay? I'm not gonna get into this article, and I may do one specifically on this article. I came across this one before. There's a lot of things in it that just get under my skin, because they're not accurate, and the lens with which things are written is completely distorted. So that may be something for the future. But just going down, like peddling NFTs. Oh look, someone's lost 300. There's some theft in crypto for 320 million. You know, someone spiked his father's tea to access 400K in cryptocurrency. So one thing is consistency. Is it's negative, right? And that goes for any of the news that's usually put on these platforms. But when you get into crypto, if you're new and this is the first place you come, you're checking out. You're not going to dive deeper. You're just going to be like, this is negative. I don't want any part of this. Someone got this much stolen. All the celebs, you know, they're promoting stuff, and oh, it's just nonsense. Someone spiked it. Like, it's just all very negative. As much as they snicker and degrade pro crypto headlines, they do the exact opposite. They're way on the other spectrum where they really dump down on things, and especially crypto related. So that's not where I would go if I'm just trying to get some information. Okay. Second place, you know, very, very commonplace, which is Yahoo Finance. And so these guys, similar kind of genre, right? Negativity is being promoted. Look, I mean, just 14 crashing stocks you may own are already in serious trouble. So just, again, it's for headlines. Unfortunately, negative news sells way better than anything positive. And then when you come into crypto here, you know, we've gone from saying it's worthless to they're not even currencies. And you can get into the rest of the article yourselves. But generally speaking, I won't go to any of these platforms. It is nice. At least just keep your ear open for CNBC, which is also here as well. CNBC or Yahoo Finance, and just seeing, are they having any crypto interviews? You know, kind of getting a general feel for certain things is great. But when it comes to specificity, they're usually pretty negative across the board, but crypto especially. And then, as I mentioned before, CNBC, I mean, same deal, right? Bitcoin has become a lifeline for certain type of workers who made X amount of money, right? 1.3 million. Like, it's just these headlines that if you're unsure or you're a newbie, they're gonna turn you off real quick. All right, and there's no meat in terms of what the projects are doing, just the variety in the space of projects. It's not just Bitcoin, it's not just ETH, but even if it is just those two things, just the community behind it, the projects that are working within those ecosystems, you're never going to get those on these platforms. So I would not go there at all. Okay. So here are a couple of resources that I use. And again, do your own research, find a variety of platforms to kind of confirm certain things that you read about. And it's really about consistency, right? And repetition. The more you start to read things, actual information about projects or the space itself, you start to make connections, right? Oh, this I read before connects with what I'm reading now. I understand. You don't need to understand the nitty-gritty technology play, right? You know, how it's developed, and I mean, some of that stuff helps on a superficial level, but not to the point where you need to think like a developer and understand like a developer. It's just kind of making connections for yourself and understanding that this is a real space. This is not something that's just kind of put out there in fantasy land, right? And that kind of ties in with the metaverse. Everyone just kind of downplays it, or NFTs. You don't understand the community behind it along with the technology behind it. So just kind of connecting the dots for yourself. So one is bitcoin.com. I mean, again, the name itself is pretty pro crypto, right? So some of the things you read, again, just keep it neutral. Just try and get information about the space and information about the project. So this is one of the sources that I use. Another source I use here is Decrypt. So it's a pretty good one. Goes over again some information. general information. You know, and you'll get, see, what happens is you will get names of projects in here that you may never hear on mainstream media unless, you know, something's hacked or something negative happens, and that's when they want to bring it up. So like you might look here and say, well, okay, Axie Infinity, you know, Axie Infinity is making big changes. Okay, well, I don't even know who Axie Infinity is. Well, let me kind of go deep dive into what is Axie Infinity. What does it do? Okay, what's this DAO? You know, what's Solana? What's Polkadot? So you're gonna get names that you're not gonna get on mainstream media platforms, and you can kind of go down whichever rabbit hole you like, and just more information, right? Connect the dots. The last two are the bigger ones, Cointelegraph, and these take some flack sometimes too, because they do push certain things and promote them way on the other end of the spectrum, where they're pro certain projects for their own reasons. But again, it's about the information. It's about getting names that you're not going to get in mainstream media, right? So Cointelegraph is a great one. Variety of information that's going to happen here. CoinDesk is another very big one. And it's, again, a variety of information that's going to come about in the crypto space, the market in general, all kinds of good information in here. But again, just take everything. If you are super skeptical of the space, or you're more on the negative side, don't even worry about the positioning or the sentiment within the article. Just try and get the information. Okay, what is somebody saying about Polkadot? Okay, it has the second most number of developers in that project, second only to ETH, right? That's a pretty big deal. That just shows you that there's, you know, it's a heavy player. It's got weight behind the project. And if that many developers are there, then there must be something going on. So maybe just start there, and then, okay, what is Polkadot? And kind of go down that rabbit hole. So again, it's just about the information. One that I want to highlight here that I've just recently started to use. Yeah, Cryptos Are Us. And he has his own channel, YouTube channel, so he's an influencer. But this is actually the news site that he has. It's kind of it's an aggregate, right? Kind of curates information. I think he has writers as well that would write certain articles. And so pro crypto, of course, that's his general, you know, belief, and his underlying principles are that crypto will grow. Crypto's here to stay. So there is that there. But it's just got great information, right? About NFTs, what's going to happen in the market, geopolitical stuff. Just get access to so many different things that you're not going to get. Here's, you know, gaming aspect of it. You're never going to get on the mainstream media. So if all you're going to hear is about, you know, this theft for, you know, for $320 million, this person spiked this one's T to gain access to their crypto assets. I mean, it's just, it's crazy, because those articles are written to kind of scare you away, right? It's a scare tactic. And it wants to play on that negativity, it wants to play on that uncertainty that you may have, that people around you may have. And so the opinions just continue to build. Oh, well, I read this. Well, I read this in the local news, and I read here, and so-and-so's told me about this. And it's always negative. Doesn't mean there aren't negative things that happen in this space, but that's the same as in the stock market and real estate and anything else that's being invested in, or any projects that have any human interaction with at all. There's always going to be good players and bad players, okay? But the space is real. So I just want to get this across to you guys. There are, you know, there's even more resources than this, of course. Do your own research, find them. I will put the links of these resources that I do like in the description. And I just encourage you guys to just look at things. Start doing some things. Start tinkering around. It does not mean you even have to spend a dime if you don't want to or not comfortable. But educate yourself first. Okay? To me, the best way to educate yourself is to actually take action and do, right? Invest a little bit. I don't care if it's $5, $10, $100. It doesn't matter. Just put something in, and that's going to force you to learn, and your learning curve is going to be so much faster than if all you're doing is reading article after article after article. Okay? But at the very least, jump in, do your own research, find some good resources that play both sides. If you still want to listen to or read, Yahoo Finance and CNBC, no problem, but balance it. Start reading some things that are actually within the crypto space, and then you can kind of see what works and what doesn't work for you. All right? So I hope that helps you guys. Do your own research, but the most important thing is do not wait for tomorrow. Get in there, jump in right now. All right, guys. See you in the next one.